Hello, my name is David Ades. I'm a certified professional life coach, just like everyone and their mom nowadays, specializing, however, in the recovery from narcissistic abuse, just like everyone and their mom nowadays. Today's video is stop, in parentheses, those are the parentheses, feeling bad for the narcissist. This video is meant to help you understand and hopefully help you process a little bit of your way out of feeling bad for someone who has been a perpetual abuser. Why in the world would you find yourself feeling bad for someone who has proven ad nauseum to only be capable of hurting those who love them, those who want to get close to them, those who try to meaningfully relate with them? I want to preface this video by saying this is a profound psychological question. Multifaceted, complex, nuanced. Why might a human being feel bad for their own abuser? Why might a human being feel guilty towards their own abuser, feel like they should have compassion and forgiveness for their own abuser? This is a complex, profound question, worthy of proper reflection. And there are many facets here, many answers, many components to one's attempt at answering this question. And so, here we go, onwards and inwards. The first facet of this multifaceted question is in the question itself. Why would I feel bad for someone who is only capable of abusing people who get close to them? Well, this is a pitiful life to lead. The narcissist leads a pitiful existence of only being capable of hurting people who want to love them and get close to them. Of course, this is very strange that anybody would end up like this. That's another profound psychological question worthy of reflection. I'm sure you've dabbled in trying to answer that question. And maybe you have answered that question. I don't know. Not only is this very strange, but it's pitiful. Maybe we can feel bad for someone who can never be loved and can never love, at least other people. A narcissist is exempt, excluded, 1 degree removed from human relations. We all know that they are incapable of empathy, but that doesn't only mean of giving empathy, that means of receiving empathy as well. And this aspect of the human experience, the seat where empathy is received and given, that being missing means a less than whole human experience. The narcissist leads a slightly less than whole human experience. They don't know what it is like to be whole, so they are incapable of recognizing like whole humans. When you relate with a narcissist, when you get close enough to enter a relationship with a narcissist, of course it's not a relationship because they're not capable of that, but when you get close enough anyway, you don't get related with as if you are a full human being. You get related with as if you are a partial human being. You get related with as if you are a trophy, like it's love bombing. You get related as if you are like a doll that the narcissist can just play with and then throw away. You get related with as if you are a machine that the narcissist can turn on and off as they please. You get related with as if you are an extension of the narcissist, so you just do what they want you to do and think what they want you to think. And you get related with as if you are a figment of the narcissist's imagination. Anything but a whole human. Because a narcissist doesn't know whole human. They lack that here. They're not capable of seeing it in other people, which is like why they can't be faulted for relating in the way that they do. Of course, they should take responsibility of that to some meaningful extent at some point of their lives. Yet they are trapped in this experience. It's like trying to tell a fish what water is. It's like trying to tell, I hope that metaphor made sense. You can't let them in on what they're missing. they have to stumble through life and struggle enough with human relations to say, like, man, maybe something is wrong with me. I just keep hurting people and they just keep... Which makes it tough because that means that they can't succeed. Because imagine somebody, and what I mean by that is, imagine a narcissist who's very successful in life. They're not going to care if, you tell them, well, you're missing a part of the human experience. They're going to say, well, no, you're missing a part of the human experience. I'm on top of the game. I'm the best. I'm the smartest. You're just trying to, I don't know, kill my vibe or something. So there have to be quite a series of events in a narcissist's life in order to get them to even get the hint that, like, something is going wrong. It's very confusing. Relating with a narcissist is very confusing. The relating style that they have it's not clear that they don't treat other people as full human beings. It takes sometimes a full relationship with a narcissist for even the victim, the prey, to realize that something was off the whole time. And sometimes they have trouble even realizing that something is that off. So of course this is about taking full accountability as a survivor of narcissistic abuse, not hoping that they would come around. This is about your story of kind of coming around or turning the leaf or, which means processing your way out of not only feeling bad for the narcissist or feeling guilty towards them or feeling processing your way out of having any feelings, any emotional investment left in the narcissist, because the narcissist is a dead end of emotional investment. There is no seat of empathy where the emotions would land and then something would be given. No matter how much you feel for the narcissist, no matter what you feel for the narcissist, no matter how much you sacrifice of yourself and of your life, it lands with no one, nowhere. It's like the narcissist is a manifestation of gluttony. No matter how much they consume, no matter who they consume, no matter how much narcissistic supply they get, it's like there's a pit in their stomach, everything falls through. Part of the tragedy of being narcissistically abused or having been narcissistically abused is like, well, if only everything I sacrificed amounted to anything at all. If only I could tell at all that my sacrifice left the other person with anything, but no matter how much I gave, positive or negative, it didn't matter at all. How dehumanizing this experience is. To have all of your emotional investment left at a dead end. Before I get to the resolution of this video, moving forward, I want to mention a video from the psychologist Sam Vaknin about survivor's guilt and narcissistic abuse. Having gotten out of a narcissistically abusive relationship, and it doesn't matter how it ends, the victim, the survivor, is going to feel guilty for having survived the relationship. It's as if the narcissist dies and you live. Because the narcissist is dead to a meaningful degree, kind of for all intents and purposes. The seat of their empathy, this very human part, is dead. And so you getting away is like you surviving a catastrophe and they remaining victim, condemned to this pitiful, tragic death existence of only hurting people who are close to them. And I do also want to mention that the reason that they appear charming and cool and funny and whatever to people who aren't close to them, well, it's that distance. As long as the other people aren't close enough for full, vulnerable humanness to make itself known, the narcissist is fine in those relationships. It's upon getting close that the relating breaks down. The narcissist isn't capable of more closely relating. So that's when the abuse takes place. Stay away from the narcissist. They seem cool and funny and generous or whatever. I hope you get maybe why I said that. So, because one's emotional investment has to be, in psychological terms, decathected, taken back from the narcissist, both the positive and negative emotions. You can't have too much hatred or aggression caught up in the narcissist because it's just a dead end again. And you don't have to have negative emotional investment in someone to know that they're not safe to be around or something like that. Because the narcissist is a dead end, and you have to process your way out of having this emotional investment in them, this leaves you with a rather baffling or confounding experience. It's like all of this time you were investing your emotions in someone who isn't real, someone who doesn't exist. So this leaves this question mark in one's life, in one's fate, in one's timeline, like who answers for this then? And this is where, this is the resolution of this topic. There is kind of a bone to pick, so to speak, because one had a relationship with a narcissist to a meaningful degree. They wreak such havoc on one's life that there must be there's going to be this, you have this investigation, you have this curiosity, you have this hey, can anyone answer me about this? There is a bone to pick. Can't be with the narcissist because they're not available in that way. So who is it with? The only kind of options left are fate or God, if you will. This is a part of what I consider to be waking up out of the stupor of having been narcissistically abused. You have to develop as a person in such a way to be able to say, flat out, this wasn't fair. That's the bone to pick. And you can't say that with the narcissist because they're not available. You can say it with yourself fine. You can say it with a therapist. You can say it with a coach. You can say it with friends. But there has to be some kind of grand reckoning that maybe with other people, depending on who they are, of course, and with yourself isn't possible to attain. It has to reach a profundity of human experience. That's where spirituality or religion would take place if that's what makes sense to you. Other than that, it is with fate itself. So if you can't, use God, then just use the word fate. You have to ask, you have to pose the question to God himself, to fate herself. Why the heck did this happen to me? And you have to keep going on living so that you can answer this question for yourself. That's the resolution of this. And so while the emotions have to be uninvested from the narcissist, they have to be invested somewhere. I write on my website, coachdavidades.com, I write that, it sounds funny to plug my own website, but I write that as unlovable as the narcissist made you feel, you have to become that loving. As afraid as the narcissist made you feel, you have to become that brave. That means the emotions that were stripped from you need to be reclaimed for further investment in life. But in order to get them back, at least partly in my view, you need to keep picking the bone. Where's the bone to pick? And kind of the only place to do that is with people who will listen, maybe good friends or family members or a coach or a therapist, and like God himself, fate, and you have to speak in this way, or I encourage you anyway. Hey, why did this happen to me? And then you have to go on the journey of answering that for yourself, or being patient enough to have that answered for you, including by yourself. It's like the story of Job, who's this person who was a faithful worshiper of God, but the devil approached God and said, you see that Job guy, he doesn't worship you because he actually cares about you. He only worships you because he has a fortunate life. Why don't you take everything away from him and you'll see, how much of a faithful servant he is. So God takes everything away from him, absolutely everything. His life becomes just an utter poop hole of misery. And then Job suffers this and suffers this and suffers this. I'm not going to emphasize the kind of moral lesson of it. But in the end, God ends up rewarding Job with a kind of brand new lease on life. And not only is suffering from narcissistic abuse kind of like this, but it's like you have to play your own God, so to speak. You have to get your own lease on life again. The difference between you or me and Job in the Bible is that God actually appears to Job face to face and is like, here I am, and then gives Job stuff after that. Maybe God might appear to you in a dream. Maybe God might appear to you in a meditation. But in terms of kind of conscious reality, there's a lot of work to do in you getting yourself a new lease on life. And of course, I don't literally mean that like you are God or something like that. So I hope I'm able to use religious terminology without it being misinterpreted or misunderstood. If you want my help personally, click the first link in the description to schedule a call with me. Click the second link to take a free narcissistic abuse recovery quiz. Like this video if you do like it, comment your thoughts or any questions you might have in the comment section below. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I will talk to you soon.